Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. He was a vibrant and healthy 65-year-old man when he caught COVID-19, and he died a few weeks before Christmas. It was an abrupt and jarring experience for his family. It left them heartbroken and enraged at the seemingly endless pandemic we are going through, but also enraged at God for creating such a broken world. For days after his passing, his daughter, as a way of praying her pain, if you will, she wrote in her journal these words. I imagine myself standing outside the gates of heaven, hurling rocks and insults at the divine. I kept thinking of the story of Job and how he refused to curse God. In this moment, I fully realized I am not Job. Day after day, I kept showing up at the gates, heaving accusations and a flood of obscenities at God. Perhaps I was just trying to provoke God. I wanted the gates to open and for the divine to step out and give me some explanation. She told me she did not embrace a theology that God caused my father to die for his glory, for God's glory. Yet, this young woman was hard-pressed to understand why God would allow a virus in this world that within months would destroy the lives of so many people. I mean, as of this devotion, some 500,000 people nearly in the U.S. and 2.5 million worldwide. The daughter said to me essentially these words, "What the hell, God? What the hell? Do you not care for us? So many tears and so much grief. Tears for breakfast and lunch and dinner. What is wrong with you, God? Do you delight in our suffering?" She wrote in her journal, "One day, when my grief was particularly heavy over a number of situations, I brought a battering ram along on my trip to Heaven's Gates and attempted to break them down and hold God to account." And she wrote in her journal, "I fully understand the absurdity of this statement, but I've always believed God can handle our emotions, including our rage and our soul-crushing grief. Plus," she wrote, where else could I go with all this pain but to God?" I've thought long about that conversation I had with her. And recently the thought came to my mind, what if God is heartbroken and enraged every bit as much as we are? Truth is, it's easier to blame God than to admit perhaps that we have failed one another. The thought came, what if God's rage and sorrow matches ours? After all, more than 2 million of God's beloved children have died, their lives cut short. They didn't have to die. So many lives could have been saved. Then I envisioned God with clenched fists and tears streaming down, red, blotchy cheeks, stomping around on earth, demanding that we give an account for our behavior, saying to us, his children, "Why didn't you listen to me? Why didn't you care?" The thought came that maybe it was God speaking through scientists and medical experts and warning us that this could happen. God pleading with us to take this seriously, to don our masks and wash our hands and keep our distance. But too many of us refuse to believe or to listen, if you will. Maybe it was God begging us not to throw that 4th of July party or that Halloween party, and to forgo the holiday celebrations with our families, just for this one year. Maybe that was God speaking to us. But too many of us rebuffed the warnings and preferred personal pleasure and touting individual freedom over concern for the common good. I don't know, our treasured, rugged individualism has cost us so many lives. When will we learn that interdependence and neighborliness and community are the real virtues? The problem was certainly exacerbated by our leaders, who stuck their heads in the sand and underestimated the threat for months, preferring profits over people. Even when it became clear how deadly the virus was, they failed to lead by example, allowing some false sense of bravado or machismo to create a culture of, I ain't scared of that virus. So many lives lost so unnecessarily. Keep up what? A front of strength and the bottom line of profit? And while they swaggered, the bodies piled up. In this nation which loves to claim to be Christian, we've been so cavalier with our siblings' lives. When will we learn that we belong to one another? I thought, even now, I don't think we feel the full weight of the decisions that were made this past year. What we see, so many of us, I think, are numbers rather than lives lost. But God sees the great loss and the toll on our humanity. For the last year, God has sat by every bedside where his beloved children took their last breaths. God held their hands while their loved ones could not. God heard every wail of devastated families, witnessed dreams shattering, and counted their tears. And God watched as nurses and doctors and chaplains collapsed under the weight of it all. God, through it all, has also borne the brunt of our failures. God has suffered. Such a suffering love. You guys are so loved. When will we ever get it? When will we ever understand? How truly precious life is. I don't know. God bless you. Always.